Alright, back in the shop. As soon as I go to start. Every freaking time. Let's turn the ringer off on our phone. That needs to be a thing we just start doing. Jeez Louise. Start over. Like I showed the video, I released it, so it's going to be a while before this one probably comes out compared to when the Bentley video came out. But I did not get that 400 finished on Friday because of my friend showing up with the flying spur. And we spent all afternoon basically talking to each other and going over the car. So this motor's definitely, if it went beforehand in crunch time, it is in crunch time now. So I think I'm going to get off of here and not talk too much to the camera today and get this 400 done. So I will see you guys in a little bit. Alright, so here's that 400 we're talking about. I keep telling you I'm working on. So one thing I've noticed is in making these vlogs, like I think I'm finished, I got number 6 already uploaded. So vlog 6 is already on YouTube, but it hasn't been released yet. That'll probably be about a month from now before it actually comes out because, you know, of course, 7 a.m. Tuesday mornings. But anyways, as I keep editing these things, I've noticed one thing I'm doing that I want to stop doing is I sit down and I tell you guys like what I'm working on, what I'm doing, all that, blah, 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 but I don't physically show you. Like I got a couple time lapses. I figured every now and then I should stop and actually just record it and show you where I'm at, what I'm doing. So on Friday, this right here is like from Comp Cams. It is a push rod length checker. So let me get this lined up and I'll show you. If you look real close right there, yeah, there you can see it. There's white lines. And every rotation that this comes around, that white line meets up again. That is 50 thousandths of an inch. So, like this one for example, this is not the one I use. I think it's this one. This looks more like it. Yeah, buddy, that's it. So right here, this one is 7.800 when it's completely compressed down with the white lines touching each other. And there was 2 revolutions out that came to this, which made the push rods that I needed 7,100. So now that I have the push rods, I've put them in the motor. So they're sitting on the lifters. You want to get, when you're setting, like doing the zero, so when you're adjusting your rockers, you want to set them to 0 lash. So basically your intake, I believe I'm setting the exhaust. Let's make sure I know what I'm talking about. Yes, I am setting the exhaust. So your intake lifter is all the way up. So that means the actual camshaft lobe, the very tip of it, is on the bottom of this lifter. It's completely up, which means that the top of the exhaust one cannot be touching the actual lifter here. You're going to be on the back side of the lobe of the camshaft for the exhaust valve on this cylinder. So now, after you do that, you take your rocker arm and all accessories, put it on here, tighten it down until basically you're just going, all this is fill. So you're going to tighten it down until you can barely move this guy. There's going to be 0 play up and down, but this guy's going to have just enough. If you slightly put your fingers on it, you can wiggle it back and forth. That is 0 lash. On something like this, this isn't going to be a race motor or something like that. I do start at the bottom and I come completely to the top, which is a half turn. So with the half turn on it, then I rotated the motor over 3 times, which gives you a wear pattern on where I put black marker on each of the valves. That shows me that this push rod is taking this rocker arm, it's wearing in the center of the rocker arm, it's wearing in the center. I accidentally put my finger on this one, so let me get that down there where y'all can see it. But I kind of accidentally wiped the bottom half of it off. But the top and the bottom had the equal amounts of marker still on it, which means that the rocker arm is wearing in the center of the valve. So you want the valve stem. You want the valve stem and the rocker to be centered with each other, and that means your geometry is correct. Now, I just got to move on and do the rest. Here's a bit more in depth of this push rod checker. So basically what I did when I started off is I put it in the hole just like it's a normal push rod. Put my rocker arm and everything assembly on here, and then I tightened it down. Well, I didn't tighten it down yet. I took this and I turned it 1 revolution out, and that would have put me at 7,850. And then I tightened it all down, checked it, same thing I was talking about, like set it to 0 lash, half turn, turn the motor over 3 times, took it off, and the wear pattern on it was on the top side of the valve and it wasn't centered, so I knew that was not correct. I loosened everything, took the rocker arm and everything off, turned it another full rotation, which put it at 7,900, redid everything, because I figured with it being slightly on the inside of the motor side, I was like, if I take it out about another 50 thousandths, that should put me in the center. tightened it down, did everything like I was saying, zero lash, blah, 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 got to it, turned the motor over 3 times, took it all back apart, and the wear pattern was directly in the center, so now I knew I could call my warehouse, tell them, hey, I need a set of... There's another thing that comes with that kit for the push rod checker. So let's see if I can get that to focus on there. Oh, that's going to be difficult. But anyways, on one end, you can see it's one size and other end the other. So that's a 3/4 size and that's a 5/16. So then you can come over here to your actual, like, where's it go? There it fell. Jesus. And your stock push rod. You know, this is a Vortec 350 stock push rod. So I can line this up with that. That tells me, oh wait, that's a 5/16. So now I know I need a 7/900 and a 5/16 push rod. So I called them, ordered those, got all that, and there's a better explanation of how that all works. Alright, let's get back to working. One more thing before I get back to work. If anything I'm going over, I go over too fast, or if I'm not putting enough detail into it, I'm not saying it in a way that you are comprehending it, always feel comfortable down below, comments, let me know what your question is, what you're not grasping, and I will do my best to answer any questions you may have. So as I was showing you earlier, this lifter is completely up. So technically, if this was assembled, this would be pushing that valve spring down right now, and the intake would be open. The exhaust is a completely bottom on the, like it's on the back side of the lobe of the camshaft. So I just put this down to zero lash. So as you can see, if I move up and down on this, there is no play in it. But if I try to twist it ever so lightly, I can spin it around. I mean, I'm barely touching this, and I can move it. And my fingers are greasing on top of that. So if I can move it, but there is no up and down play, that is zero lash. Now, what I will do is grab this, try to get it on there, straight down, like so, and then I come until I'm straight up. And that is a half turn. That valve is done. Alright, I thought I'd give you a little bit better in-depth of what's going on now. So this one is completely set. It was all the way up. We set the exhaust valve here. It's good to go. I just went over that with you guys, but as you come down, I've pushed down on all the rockers to make sure each lifter is down on the camshaft, resting where it's supposed to be. But you can see that none of these lifters are coming up. We got one that's slightly up right here. Come over here, we got one that's slightly up right here. And we have one that's slightly up right there. So that's fully up like that one. So I've done it enough that I know this is going to be the next one, and I'm going to be setting this intake valve right here. But otherwise, what you would do is you look for what is up and what is not. See, this one's going to be going down as I rotate forward. This one's going to be going down as I rotate forward. This one's going to continue to come up, and when it gets to the very top of the lobe of the camshaft, I'm going to set this one right here. And you'll basically do that going forward throughout the motor. What I like to do is take like a marker, like I've set this one right here. We're going to put a mark right there. I know that one's done now. And you continue to go through the motor until you get all of them done. You just keep rotating over. Very simple. Very, very simple. Alright, the valve lash is officially set. Everything is good with it. I've tested it. I've rotated the motor over quite a few times to make sure nothing is binding, nothing's hitting, nothing is going to go wrong with this thing. Right now, it feels great. Everything's set. Like I said, I put those little marks on it. That way there, when I'm done, I can go back. Let's get the focus on it. There we go. But anyways, I can go back and be like, okay, that's been set, that's been set, that's been set, that's been set. Those have been set, those have been set, those have been set, those have been set. You could also just look at the lock nuts. But it's easier just to know that there's a mark there. And I physically have reassurance that I set that valve correctly. But anyways, everything's going good today. Only thing is he brought me a intake for a carburetor that is not going to fit a Vortec head, which he bought off of me. So I'm about to call him and tell him he's going to have to get a new intake if he wants to run a carburetor. Because, you know, the Vortecs were never made when it wasn't electronic fuel injection. So there's that. But outside of that, I think I'm almost going to be done with this thing here soon. I just think I need to put on the oil pump and the oil pan. And I think that's all I'm doing to it. That's what I got to do. I got to get this oil pump on here. So I'm going to get that going, flip her over, get her done. Talk to you guys later. Alright, where I'm at the second is I don't have valve covers for the motor. It's always something. So, they said all they have is aluminum ones. Hold on, let me grab something. I was just trying to upsell the guy when he bought the bottom end of the 400 from me. And I had these laying around on the shelf real cheap. I get these stupid cheap. But they bolt on the outside. And Vortex heads bolt in the center. So, I've already sold them chrome valve covers. So I gotta find me a set of chrome valve covers that bolt in the center today. Alright, so I'm gonna go try to do all that and go pick up that bolt. And I think I've talked to you guys a little bit about buying a new house and all that. Well, we're down to the wire, like 5 o'clock today, and it is what it is type thing. And we've had to extend due diligence once. And it seems like the sellers are starting to be a little bit of pushback on it. And it's not my fault that their roof is leaking and it has mold and things like that, and it has to be replaced. But I got 18 more minutes to find out whether or not we're buying that house. So, don't know. My plans may be ruined because I was really looking forward. I like where it's at, and for us to be a temporary house and in the future be a rental property after we build our house. But that might be going all up in smoke. I don't know. We will find out in a little bit. So, the valve cover situation is not settled yet, but I do have the bolt for the oil pump and a couple other things. So I'm gonna get to putting all that stuff on and maybe being disappointed in 18 minutes when I find out whether or not I'm buying this house. I kind of want to take a moment to rant about ARP because it gets on my nerves every time I buy something like this. Like, you got this oil pump bolt, which is not going to be, let me get that right there so it's actually going to quit trying to autofocus on something crazy. But anyways, you got this bolt that you just bought from ARP, and it's going to have its own torque spec. Like, there's going to be a torque spec that ARP wants you to do. Why do you not write that on your package? Like, what is the deal with that? Why must it every time I buy something like this and I'm like, oh, what was that again? I don't remember. Let me Google that. Or I could just be like, flip it over. Oh, you want it to be 65 foot-pounds, which I actually don't know what it is. I got to look it up real fast. Oh, it's just so stupid to me that I got to do this. Socket size is going to be 5/8, even though it doesn't tell you because the listing, like where it would tell you, is in black. I'm sure the lettering is black, so good thing I already know it's a 5/8. Actually, if I look really close, wow, really, you can kind of see that. Yeah, so they used a gray font on a background. Smart people. Your IT department is maze balls. Anyways, look up torque value by diameter. So stupid. Airplay ultra torque, blah, 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 blah. I guess I gotta go measure the size of the fucking bolt because it doesn't tell you that on here either. Chevy V8 Hexel, blah, blah, blah. I know that the socket on it's a 5/8, but that's all I know about it. So which I'm guessing is probably a 3/8. We'll find out. Like if all I built was Chevys and all I used was their oil pump bolt, I could see this being this way. But being I built so many different type motors, it's so stupid to me. It's like for me to have to remember all this. There's no way I'm going to memorize every bolt's torque spec on every motor that I build. And if you're going to make something, and obviously I go to your website, and it's due to the size of the bolt itself. Let me put this right here. I don't know why I walked back over here, but I did because I'm aggravated and bending. But if you got to go to your website, and it's only due to the size of the bolt, which is what, you know, how torque is, how they engineer it and come up with how much torque it can take anyways, is the size of the bolt. But why not? You know what size this is. Put it on the package with it. 7/16 is the 80 foot-pounds. See? All you had to do, ARP, is right here where it says Chevy V8 Hexel pump stud kit. You could have wrote 7/16 right there. That might be something you want to look into doing in the future. That would be really awesome. And then back here, like where it says warning, cancer, reproductive harm, blah, 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 packaged by to, blah, 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 lot number this, whatever. There could be like another little sticker right there, or no, a print, or you could put it up here. I really don't care where you put it on the package, but you could be like, hey, we manufactured this damn thing. It's 7/16 and it's 80 foot-pounds of torque. Jesus. Enough of that. Whew. So, the 400 is not done again today. But I've got the oil pump. Like I wasn't thinking about what we were putting together when I was selling the guy on different things. Like, yeah, I'll sell you this pan up here I got, and blah, blah, it's a champ pan, and this and that, and I'll sell you these valve covers I got, and blah, blah, blah. Well, I was thinking about it being a 400, and the valve covers that I sold him, I put on the last 400 I built, but I also wasn't thinking about the fact that I didn't use Vortec heads on that last one. So, I used a set of aluminum heads, and they have outer bolts for the valve covers, so those work just fine, where the Vortec heads are bolts in the center. So, I think I've talked a little bit about on that, but that's beside the point. Then champ pan, I wasn't thinking about it was for a late model block, and it's a one-piece rear main seal, where the 400 is a two-piece rear main seal. So again, I couldn't use that pan. Luckily, I've got that kind of stuff laying around the shop. I've got a one-piece or a two-piece seal pan in the back. It's actually already up here. Yeah, it's over there on the table now, so it's ready to go on. That also changed the pickup for the oil pump, because now I'm using a different type of pan. I had to have a different pickup. Again, luckily, I have that pickup here in the shop. So I've got the different oil pump that I'm going to put on it. I got the different pickup I'm going to put on it. I got the different oil pan I'm going to put on it. I've got the valve covers I'm going to put on it. But I think I'm going to wait in the morning until I see those other valve covers, because I don't think those, you can't put a PVC valve in. And I'm pretty sure with what he's doing, he's going to need a PVC valve. So I'm probably going to have to go with those more expensive valve covers. Here's what it is. All right, wife, I guarantee it's you. Give me a minute, I'll be right back. So, the Frankenstein of a build 400 that I got going on over here, it looks like it has an oil pan on it. It looks like everything's ready to go. It's not. That oil pan, as I went to go put it on, luckily I'd only put in 4 bolts, and then I noticed that it wasn't right. But the oil dipstick pickup is on the wrong side of the block for that motor, so I gotta wait till the morning to order one. I have 13 total small block Chevy oil pans in this shop. I only have 2 that are a 2-piece rear main seal, and both of them have the dipstick on the wrong side. I do, however, have one. Actually, I take that back. I have 14 oil pans, because I found another one. I believe it's for a Nova, though, so it probably wouldn't work in the first place, and it's much deeper, so the pickup wouldn't reach it. But it's a 2-piece rear main seal with the dipstick on the correct side of the motor, so that's not going to work either. So we're just going to wait till the morning. I'm going to order a new oil pan, and then I'll put that oil pan on, and that motor's done. We're done with it. All right, till tomorrow. Whoosh. Another vlog has come to an end, which means it's time to smash this like button right here. Click on the share button over here. Share this vlog with anybody you think might find it interesting. Comment down below. Let me know what you thought about the vlog. If you haven't yet, make sure you subscribe to my channel. Ring the bell. That way there you'll get the notifications, and we will talk with you later. Whoosh.